The boy was born into a small group of cave folk, living on the edge of a vast, cold wilderness. Life was a constant struggle for survival. In his world, names didn't exist. No one had one. The pack and his people recognized each other by their faces or smells, communicating through grunts and gestures. He never knew who his father was, and he doubted his mother knew either. By the time he could walk, he had already learned everything she had to teach him. Even as a child, he realized he was smarter than everyone around him, which became his biggest secret and his greatest shame. Being different was dangerous. In his pack, different could get you cast out, left in the snow to starve. He never truly understood their fear until the stranger came. A stranger appeared from across the vast, frozen expanse they called the Big White. No one in the boy's pack had ever dared to venture into that endless cold, a place where traveling alone meant certain death. Only saber cats in the walking mountains could survive out there alone. Yet this man was neither of those. He didn't look like anything they had ever seen, but he carried weapons unlike any the boy's pack had ever encountered. In the time it would take a hungry wolf to devour a baby, this stranger had fought his way to become their new pack leader. Every hunter in the cave roared in approval, even those who lay bleeding from the fight. The boy closed his eyes and wished, like he always did, that when he opened them, he wouldn't be smart anymore. But when he did, he was still the only one smart enough to be truly afraid. Later, the stranger approached the boy. "I know how alone you feel. You've never met anyone else like you, have you? It's okay, you can speak freely. I won't let them hurt you if they hear." The boy looked up, surprised. "I didn't know there were others who could make the sounds." The stranger nodded. "There are a few, scattered among the packs of 8 men all across the land, all of them born different, smarter than they have any right to be. How do I know these things? I come from a pack that feared everything outside their cave. They'd scream and cry every night when the big red ball went away, thinking the world was ending. Every single night of my life. And then, one particularly dark evening, they were finally right. It doesn't matter how we're born different, but the why is clear. We are this world's true masters." The boy's curiosity was piqued. "And then?" The stranger replied, "They help us become what we're meant to be." The boy asked, "How did they do that?" The stranger says, "By dying. That's all they really know how to do." The boy's eyes widen. "What? What was it that happened to your pack? How did the world end for them?" The stranger's voice grew intense. "The same way it always ends out here. Something found them. Something stronger. Something hungry." The stranger transformed before the boy's eyes, revealing a new, terrifying form. In just one night, he had killed and consumed everyone the boy had ever known. He wasn't a saber cat or a walking mountain. He was something far worse. Something beyond the boy's ability to even describe. The boy, overwhelmed by fear and anger, charged at him, only to be grabbed by the stranger. Now something else entirely. The stranger looked down at him and said, "Look at you. You're a ghost now, boy. A thing that doesn't even know it's dead. Ghost. That's what I'll name you. If you want to know my name, come and find me, if you can." And just like that, the stranger vanished, leaving the boy alone. The boy felt more alone than ever before, and the world outside his cave seemed suddenly far more dangerous than he had ever imagined. Ghost wandered alone through the vast frozen land, shivering as the icy wind bit at his skin. He thought to himself, "If the stranger could survive the Big White, then so could I. Or maybe I was just looking for an easy way to die." He didn't find what he was searching for. Instead, something found him. As Ghost lay dying in the snow, his strength fading, a snake-like creature slithered up to him, hissing softly. If you wish to die, I can send you on your way, but I'd much rather help you live." Barely able to speak, Ghost whispered, "Snakes can't talk." The snake replied, "How do you know? You only just learned how to talk yourself, didn't you, little ghost?" Startled, Ghost tried to focus. How do you know that name? What are... The snake continued, "I know what you're searching for out here, my young friend. I know what you want above all else. And I'm the only one who could give it to you. Pain, punishment, vengeance. You might say those are my specialties." The snake talked for a very long time, until he thought every part of him would freeze solid. It promised him that he would find the man he was hunting, that he could have his revenge. More revenge than he could possibly imagine. But mostly, it promised him one thing. The snake's voice grew softer. "Warm. Don't you want to be warm again? It's so very cold out here, isn't it? But don't worry, my sweet ghost. I can make it so you're never cold again. Just say my name. Names are power in this world, you know that? Don't you, ghost? You know my name. Say it. It's right there, on the tip of your tongue. Say my name, and our deal is done." With the last of his strength, Ghost forced out the words, Mephisto." The moment the name left his lips, fire erupted around him, enveloping his body in flames. As he burned, the snake's laughter echoed through the air, hysterical and wild. Ghost would later come to miss the cold. Since then, he had forgotten how anything felt other than burning. But at least he wasn't alone anymore. As the flames consumed him, mammoths appeared from the blizzard, circling around him. The cold he once feared now seemed distant, replaced by the relentless, all-consuming fire within him. 5 years had passed, and in that time, ghosts had earned new names. They called him the Rider, because most had never seen a man astride a beast. But Ghost knew he wasn't a man anymore. He has become what he was named. I'm more ghost than man, more fire than flesh, more spirit than bone. The spirit of vengeance. After years of relentless pursuit, he finally found the stranger he had been hunting, riding in on his mammoth. With a fierce grip, Ghost seized the stranger, his voice cold and steady. "It took a lot of riding, but I found you. A lot of following the ruin you leave behind wherever you wander. But no more. I've come for your name and everything else you've got." The stranger looked at him, a twisted smile on his face, and laughed. "Oh, little ghost, all grown up and touched by fire. You surprise me, boy." Ghost's eyes burned with anger as he said, "I'm not a boy anymore, you monster." The stranger's form began to change, as his voice grew deeper, more menacing. "And I'm not a monster, just a man who does what it takes to survive. You want my name, Ryder? I'll tell you, but it's the last thing you'll ever hear." The stranger's transformation completed, and he shouted, "Wendigo!" With a sudden burst of strength, he broke free from the mammoth's grip. "Now get ready to warm my belly." Ghost attacks with fire and says, "Oh, we'll warm you up all right." Wendigo's fist slammed into Ghost. "So much power you've stumbled into, and still such a fool. You call me a monster because I feed on man flesh. But I see the truth in you, Ryder. You feed on souls. Who's really the bigger monster? Ghost regained his footing, the fire in his eyes burning brighter. He swung back, his fist connecting with Wendigo's jaw. We both are, but there's only room in this world for one of us. Wendigo attacked again with his claws. You really think we're the only monsters in the world? You're more of a fool than I thought, boy. As Ghost slowly pulled himself to his feet, the scene around him became clear. Bones, countless bones scattered all around. This is your den, isn't it? By the stars, how many have you eaten? Wendigo replied, Not enough. It's never enough. The more I eat, the stronger I grow, the longer I live. Soon, I will be like the gods. Ghost looked at the bones around him. The bones say different, Wendigo. The bones say you've eaten your fill. As if responding to his words, the bones around Ghost began to stir. They rattled and clattered, drawing together to form a weapon in his hand. Ghost gripped the weapon tightly, feeling the power coursing through it. He raised it high and declared, Now it's their turn to feed. In the name of vengeance, I condemn you, Wendigo. To burn for as long as there's fire in the world. To fall forever into damnation. To suffer for all eternity. Just like me. With that, Ghost unleashed his flames, burning Wendigo with a fire hotter than anything that had ever touched him. Wendigo roared in agony, but he wasn't finished yet. In a final, desperate surge of strength, he lashed out. No! As long as there is hunger, there will be the Wendigo. The Wendigo is the stronger ones there! Before he could finish, Wendigo was struck from behind. Ghost's mammoth had charged into him, its massive tusk piercing through Wendigo's chest. Ghost calls out, Good work, girl. Now let me finish him off before... But Wendigo, even in his weakened state, was relentless. He grabbed the mammoth's tusk and snapped it like a twig. Relying on animals, you'll never be strong enough. Not until you become one yourself. I can help with that. He lifted the mammoth with his supernatural strength. He then hurled both himself and the mammoth over the edge of a nearby cliff. As they plummeted into the abyss, Wendigo's voice echoed in Ghost's ears. I'll survive this, Ghost. Will you? Ghost stood frozen in disbelief, his heart sinking as he stared at the edge of the cliff. No, he muttered. The weight of loneliness pressed down on him once more, heavier than ever. Alone, always alone. No matter how much I burn, I will never... But before he could finish the thought, a voice interrupted him. Soft yet powerful, echoing with his mind. You're not alone, and not all of us are monsters like the Wendigo. Yes, I can hear your thoughts. I'm different. Like you, Ghost, and I need your help. Odin and I both do. The figure that emerged was Lady Phoenix. Standing beside her was Odin. Together, they approached Ghost. Odin grumbled. He's a bit bony, Lady Phoenix. I still say we should have gone with the hairy one. Lady Phoenix, ignoring Odin's remark, says, Yes, Ryder, there are others just like you. And together, we've got a world to save. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.